So we welcome to our studio this morning our wonderful and fantastic guests who are joining us. Tariro Chiriseri, how are you today?
I'm alright, how are you?
I'm fantastic. And our new guest this week is Gamchirai Modzindiko, right? Thank you so much for joining us here on Cabby Talk. And joining us on the line, we have got former child president Samuel Nyirenda who's joining us on the line. Good morning. How are you, Sam?
Good morning, Britta. Good morning, listeners. Good morning, contestants. How are you guys doing?
Oh, we're fantastic. You're fine?
I'm alright. I'm great.
You're fantastic, which is a very, very good thing. And so as we are looking at our topic today, we've got the topic, should students be allowed to use Chat GPT to write school assignments? My favorite topic today. It's one that I've been looking forward to. And so I'm going to ask you, Gamchirai Modzindiko, to start with your opening line, and you are for the topic. Go ahead.
So, ladies and gentlemen, in an era where we're living, where AI and robots are literally dominating the world, it is important for us to actually see how important it is to use AI, and more specifically Chat GPT in our school assignments. I definitely agree that we should be able to use Chat GPT to write our school assignments.
Thank you so much, Gamu. And now we turn to you, Tariro, with your opening line.
All right, good morning, everyone. So our motion today is, should students be allowed to use Chat GPT for their school assignments? I believe that they should not, really. Should we embrace the efficiency of Chat GPT or uphold the value of human writing skills? While Chat GPT offers benefits like increased productivity and access to information, I firmly believe that students should not rely on AI-generated content for school assignments, as it undermines the development of essential writing skills and critical thinking.
Awesome stuff. Oh, this is exciting. Sam, you've got your hands full there. But all the same, I'm going to ask you... I can't wait to hear what you have to say about this here, but all the same, let's get straight into it. Gamchirai, you may go ahead with your first argument.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we would like to identify first what is ChatGPT. It is an AI chatbot designed to generate human-like responses to a wide range of questions and topics. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as much as we're saying we want to use ChatGPT, we're not saying we're going to completely ignore human capabilities and the human's ability to actually write. No, as much as a person can be able to use a calculator in an exam, that's just the same with a ChatGPT. We're just trying to, it's basically an assistance, right? We're not going to be replacing the people. It's a tool to assist us. Could we say using a calculator in an exam is completely ignoring human capabilities? No. We're saying that it is going to help it. In fact, it increases productivity, which means that a person is able to do their assignments faster and get time to actually do other things like having family time. You know, these days people are getting sick and people are dying. It's important for a person to spend time with their family instead of spending an hour or even 2 hours writing a math assignment just because it is very hard to deal with. We're saying ChatGPT can be able to help a person in increasing their English, actually, because as much as a person might write their homework alone, right, you might write wrong things. You might actually be writing fake stuff, making fake points, and you're very confident about what you're writing, but it's wrong. But we're saying that with ChatGPT, it helps you to confirm, is what you're writing correct? Are you using the correct grammar? Are you using the correct spellings for everything you're doing? And that is why we're saying ChatGPT should be allowed to be used by students to write their assignments, because it is actually making it easier and better for us.
Tarir.
All right, so Gamu mentioned that we use calculators to do our math in exams, but she looked at one subject here, mathematics, right? And also in ZimSec, they say there's paper 1 and paper 2, and you're only allowed to use a calculator in paper 2, which means in paper 1 you're going to be using your critical thinking to actually come up with a solution. So I think that the Chat GPT should not be used, because I'm not going to get into a geography examination with my phone and actually research on what geography is, but then I have to actually recreate the points that my teacher gave me in class. So I think that it should not be used because she mentioned exams, right? And she also mentioned time. She said you can avoid the use of 2 hours writing your assignments. But yes, I'm going to spend 30 minutes in writing my assignments, right? And then spend time with my family. But then it's not everyone who's going to spend time with their family, right? Teenagers these days, we do so many different stuff on social media and we post so many things that are going to affect me someday. So I feel like spending more time on your homework is actually better because most students end up going to view pornography sites that also hurt and injure their minds and affect them, mentally.
Gamo?
Okay, so I think Tyra is failing to see the main point here. Let's address the elephant in the room. See, we're going to be focusing on the majority and not the minority. If we're going to be looking statistically, we look at how many students out there, especially high school, how many subjects does a student do? Personally, I do 10 subjects, and they're a lot. I mean, I get homework for like 5 subjects every single day, and I need time to do every single subject. It's going to take the whole night for me to actually be able to do this. So I need assistance. I need help from somewhere. We're not saying using Chat GPT is like I'm going to search for something and then completely copy and paste what I'm saying. No, I'm saying I'm going to be able to get assistance. It's just like a teacher actually, but then an AI teacher, it's like a teacher who's programmed to actually teach in a most probably better way than real teachers out there. So basically, by saying Chat GPT, Tario, I'm not saying that we're going to be focusing completely on copying or doing exactly what the robot is saying, but we're focusing on assistance here. We're trying to talk about how it's helping us to actually do stuff efficiently. And again, by focusing on the majority and not the minority, we see that most students actually in Zimbabwe, according to statistics, we're actually improving our porn viewing and whatnot. Students are actually focusing on better things now. We see that people are involving themselves in various activities such as debate. Like right now, I'm not viewing porn. I'm actually here doing something that's efficient. And that is why we're saying ChatGPT should be allowed for students.
Tadiro.
All right. She mentioned focusing on the majority and not the minority. I personally think that the minority that we are leaving out is missing out on so much because not everyone has access to the internet, right? And we all know that you need to have data bundles to have access to the Chat GPT. So I think that we should all apply the human knowledge that we already have and actually ask for assistance from our families, our elders, from our communities, or even our teachers if you don't understand. Because I am someone from where's my rural area? Rusape, right? I'm from Rusape, and I don't have access to the internet. Maybe my mom doesn't have a job, my dad struggles to take care of us, and I cannot go to him and ask him and say, Daddy, can I have money for data bundles so that I can search when he can actually help me with the little knowledge that he has. And if I fail to answer the question that I've been given by my teacher, that way they can also assist me by correcting where I am wrong. So I think that we should not depend or rely on AI because it's not available to everyone.
Gamo.
All right, Tyro, I hear what you're saying, definitely, but we're going to be here, but we're basically talking about how, honestly, let's just look at this from a viewpoint of view, right? I asked my mom to help me with homework every day, and my mom would tell you I came from high school a long time ago. Some of the things she doesn't remember, and the syllabuses are changing and changing every single year. How is she supposed to know? It's actually very surprising. Stuff like the reproductive system and the digestive system. People in primary school are learning that now. I mean, I learned that when I was in Form 4, but my little brother who's in grade 5 can actually tell you about the digestive system and identify identified things that are in there that I don't even know. So how can you tell me that in a world like this, I can depend on my parents' knowledge? That is impossible. I cannot depend on it. I mean, I'm not saying they're stupid or anything, but then I do need extra help and excess help. And that's why we're saying, Kuti, these AI robots, they're actually helping us in doing this. You know, even textbooks, they change every single year. Like, new textbooks are being written and all. So how can I even depend on textbooks? Textbooks, I mean, they're good, but then I need, like, more help, you know, something better, like chatbot and Chat GPT. Which actually leads me to my second point, which is it actually helps students who have writer's block. What is writer's block? So basically this when like a person is trying to write homework, right? Maybe you're given an essay and you're struggling to find an idea. You're struggling to actually find a story to write. Chatbot gives you like information. It gives you inspiration, an idea. What should I talk about? What should I write about? It actually helps you with these things. And that is why we're saying it's good, because you're going to get rid of writer's block. I mean, a lot of times I'm given an essay at school and I'm sitting there, I sit for like an hour trying to figure out what should I write about. But then with Chat GPT, it gives me an idea. It's not going to write the whole essay for me. No, it's going to tell me an idea. It's going to give me an idea for what to write about, and then that's when I can actually write my essay.
Okay. Tariro.
All right. She mentioned that there's writing board, that gives you points for per se you are given an assignment, right? I'm standing by my point that you are not going to get into an examination with that. Per se, you said you sit for an hour thinking of something to write, right? So are you going to sit for an hour in the exam and think, kuti, right? At my school, I'll give an example. In my school, we have end of month examinations that we write. So they are more like end of term tests, but then our teachers are just trying to test if we have understood the concept that we've been learning in the month, right? The topics and all that. So how am I going to actually think of an essay when I'm used to getting helped by the Chat GPT? Am I going to be my own Chat GPT? Because I'm going to sit in an exam for an hour, and my exam is like an hour 30, and I still have to write the things that I'm going to think of. So I feel like we should not depend on Chat GPT, because I'm not going to be using it in my exam. And also, there's lack of original thought, right? Although Chat GPT is an efficient source of research, it can also contribute to lack of original thought when students rely on ChatGPT. This can hinder their critical thinking and developing their own ideas. There's a high chance that even the brain becomes lazy, and this may lead to a decline in critical thinking skills.
Awesome stuff. And now finally, Gamo, may you give us your closing line?
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, right, by saying we want children to be allowed to use ChatGPT to write their school assignments, we're not saying students are supposed to completely rely on this. I feel like this is a point that Tario is actually failing to see. I'm not saying let's completely rely on ChatGPT, guys. I'm saying it can help us. Honestly, you know, for example, when I was preparing for this debate, I did use ChatGPT actually. How did I use ChatGPT? I had my points, of course, because I'm a debater. I can't just go there and rely on ChatGPT completely. But it helped me to evaluate, to explain some of the things that I didn't even know. Like, I didn't even know what writer's block is, but through ChatGPT. I mean, also, like, let's look at how it saves time, guys. I mean, you're going to get a textbook and start looking through chapter after chapter, page after page. But with ChatGPT, with an AI, you just search what you need and it comes up. That is why I'm fully in support with the motion that reads students should be allowed to use ChatGPT to write their school assignments. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tariro. Your closing line?
All right. I'm still firmly standing with the point that students should not be allowed to use ChatGPT, because if I really want help, I'll get it, right? And sorry to bring you back, but Gamu kind of mentioned family time. I can as well sit with my books in the dining room and discuss my matter with my mother, my father, my sisters, our aunt, my brother, and they help me. We combine our minds and we come up with a solution. So I think that talking from a societal view, sociology, so I think that we should also allow our parents to chip in and help us with our assignments, because I can as well just leave a blank space and go to my teacher in the morning and say, "Ma'am, I did not understand this. Can you please help me?" So yes, I firmly believe that students should not use Chart GPT.
Thank you so much, both. And so I'm going to turn to you, Sam, joining us on the line as our adjudicator. I've never laughed so hard. I've been under the desk right now, but I'm going to turn to you, Sam, to give your remarks on this debate and who you think has hit the nail on the head.
Wow, you know what? It gets better and better. Like I thought last week was great. I think last time was great, but these guys just knocked it out of the park. So I think off the bat, well done to Gamu and to Tariro. You guys were absolutely phenomenal. Really, really loved it, and I'm sure the listeners really loved it as well. It's not an easy topic to be talking about. Should students be allowed to use ChatGPT when they use or when they write their assignments? There are a lot of thoughts that come into the ethical concept of, is it really allowed for ChatGPT to help me with writing an assignment? And you're looking at the other side of, how far can I take it? So it's really quite an ethical dilemma that you guys were really, really touching on. And I loved quite a few points that you guys raised. I'm looking here. I was just scribbling down as you were talking. You defined what ChatGPT was, which I think is a cool way to kick us off, because you now set a parameter for everyone who's listening and for your debate as well. So you set now your parameter to say, okay, I'm not saying let's be wholly dependent on it, but I'm saying let's also pay cognizance, or let's pay attention to the fact that it can be used to help, just like a calculator is used to help in a maths exam. That was really a cool analogy. You then said you can confirm what you're doing, if it's correct or not. You talked about the time effectiveness. You focused on the majority and not the minority, and you addressed the rebuttal, as well as stating how it overcomes writer's block. Tariro, you also came in from a perspective of saying, yes, ChatGPT is awesome. However, you have to look at the ethical consideration of it. Am I really the one writing? Am I really the one who's putting in the effort and all of that? And you came in from a sociological perspective, which is pretty cool, because I love, people who talk about sociology and community and the impact of people. I really loved your rebuttal, as well as you talking about, the basis of some of these apps is the internet. The internet is already a problem. Network on its own is a problem. And you also introduced the fact of lack of original thought. So these were all the points that I heard. I'm sorry if I missed any other ones, but those are the basis of what your debates were all about. And it was so awesome to hear you guys, head it out and all of that. I didn't want Britta to get you guys to be honest. It was just really, really good. Unfortunately, there has to be a winner. There has to be someone who made their argument really stick out to me. And the win for this particular debate is Gamu. I think your argument really stuck well, and your analogy and how you set your parameters is so amazing. So I think going forward, if you guys, just a note to control your debates, just set a parameter and enjoy it. Just set your own world within your topic and say, okay, this is what we're looking at. and run with it. But otherwise, I'd love to hear what Brit thinks about ChatGPT.
I would have loved to have Chat GPT back in my school days. Okay,
Amen.
that's my thoughts. You know, I love tech. Tech solves problems on many levels. But then my dad will also say to me, I don't want a cotton brain. I want you to think for yourself, right? Everything is a tool around you, so use it. However, you need to think, because once you don't exercise, you will lose it. And we know what the end will end up being. But I'm like, when they mentioned the part of parents helping with assignments, there we think of and I was just like, by the way, they mentioned how many years ago, I don't even remember my school teacher's face now. This is how bad it's been. And so when I'm being asked, Mom, what is bod mass? I'm like, oh, by the way, whose number do I have on speed dial to be able to assist me on this one? So I started thinking about it. Hang on. Google's your best friend. Chat GPT is your best friend. How about you go there? However, we don't want a situation whereby the child is relying on that. And the best thing that happens is when there's no Wi-Fi, there's no data, none whatsoever. And so you're stuck with your brains. And so you have to figure that out. And that's the best part. And it's a fantastic debate that actually happens inside the home in terms of making sure that their own minds. And just another quick contribution that's come through from Rovimbo Mundeta. And this is honestly a hard topic. Pretty tricky. However, I can conclude to the fact that using the Chat GPT is good. We can't expect people to know everything, and that's where Chat GPT comes in to assist with when one is stuck, writer's block, and you learn from it, and then now you will be able to apply it in the exam room because you're familiar with it. And however, one does need to rely on their own knowledge and learn to apply what they have learned in class. This topic is tight. And so I would also like to get our opinions from our listeners who are tuned in right now and who you think gave the best argument and your own take on what Chat GPT is. Because what is it at the end of the day? It's been defined, thanks to Gamo. And also Taro mentioning her own arguing points, which is, hey guys, otherwise you might end up getting stuck when you walk into the exam room and you do not have Chat GPT there to assist you. So it would be very nice to get to hear our listeners' take on this particular subject matter. But I'm just blown away by the level of knowledge and intellect that these young ladies do have, to be honest. And I would not want to be in a debate with either one of them, to be honest. I
was actually planning to have one with you.
With me?
Yeah.
I need a month to plan.
It's fine. I'll give you the month. I have a really interesting topic.
Let's just add 2 more months to that. Make it 3.
3 months.
3 months.
It's okay.
Yeah, on a particular subject. I don't know. Sam, what subject do you think we would be able to debate about?
We can, if it's you.
Sam, be careful. Before you answer, just keep it within the bounds.
We can talk about cars.
Pamotikari, yes.
You're a car lover.
Yeah, Motikari. I'm such a sports fan. Motorsport. It's fine. But this has been a fantastic, fantastic debate, and I'm really just appreciating these young ladies for their level of intellect. And also just maybe your final take, Sam, on what one should be considering on as topics like these, especially for our young listeners who are there, who probably are thinking, you know what, I've been getting away with doing my assignments using Chat GPT. But I've not gotten one which writes my assignment in Shona. On the belly. So I do get in a bit of trouble. What message do you have for our listeners?
I think ultimately nothing, tops hard work. I think something that you do on your own will always stick with you. I think, because we use a lot of Chat GPT, or sometimes, you're interested in doing it, you won't remember it because it's not of your hands, it's not of your effort. But if you work on it and if you really do it, then it sticks with you forever, and you'll always be proud of something like that, if that makes sense.
Awesome.
You always say, that's my work.
So you hear? I'm going to add something to that. Develop your own. Get into the mix of it as well. Get into this tech revolution or evolution to understand what it's really about.
Yes.
So that we are embracing it, because it's here. We can't get rid of it. And as much as we want to kick it out of the classroom, it's with us. When we're out of Mrs. So-and-so's class, or Mem cannot say his class, we are not in the same space. But however, it's not a replacement for our teachers per se. It's there to aid our teachers and ourselves as well, to just acquire knowledge and information, which is probably something that most of us would need. And if one has access to it, fantastic. But if you don't, it's not the end of the world. You can still be able to achieve the same goals. But thank you so much, Sam. We're looking forward to more debates. And of course, getting your input in this year so that we can take this to the next level. We want our students to really, really get into the thinking zone so that we can be able to get a whole lot more. And just finally, to you two ladies, what message do you have for our listeners? I'm going to start with you, Gamu.
Okay, guys, I just hope you take care of yourselves, and please do not rely on Chart GPT. Just let it help you, aid you. Look at it as an aid, not as a thing that can actually... Because at the end of the day, you won't be able to actually remember everything if you copy it up. But then if you read and try to memorize, then it will actually help you then.
Thank you. What about you, Taja? What message do you have for our listeners?
All right. To the high school students, let's go to our teachers and give them work. Go and ask them, because they're the ones who gave you the assignment. Ask for help, but at the same time, let's just try to move with time. Technology, so let's move with it and get a little help, like what Gama said, a little, like a little, like 0.022.
Okay.
Awesome stuff, ladies. I really want to appreciate you. Have a fantastic weekend, and I'm looking forward to be having more debates with you guys coming through.
Thank
And
you,
so we'll make sure that I'm going to start preparing. I don't know, chapo a topic proper, nice topic so it a debate now, and it. And I wish there was practicums with them, but it's okay. It doesn't come along. But all the same, we want to appreciate you. Many thanks to Joseph Katillo in Mount Pleasant Heights, who's also listening in, and we also want to thank you, Sam, for your adjudication and really your thoughts and ideas also do count, and we want to appreciate you, and thank you so much. Until the next debate, have a good one.
Thank you so much, guys.
You are tuned into Capital 100.4 FM. That is Heartbeat.